This is your instructor, Tori Quizmondo. The purpose of this video is to finish off our first PowerPoint project so that we can get our certification. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to pick up with task 13. We ended with task 12 in the last video. Task number 13, set up the slideshow to require the viewer to manually advance the slides. In order to do that, I've got to go under my slideshow tab. And then I'm going to set up slideshow. And in this area here, it says advance slides, and I'll choose manually and say okay. Awesome, that task is complete. Let's take a look at task 14. Remove hidden properties and personal information, so you know we're going to our File tab. Under our File tab, we'll check for issues and we'll inspect our document. It's going to ask us to remove the hidden properties and personal information. Okay. We need to say inspect. Here we go. Hidden properties and personal information. Remove all. That's all it asks us to do. I'll click close and that task is complete. Let's take a look at task number 15 on slide 3. Let's go to slide 3. Apply the inside top left shadow effect to the arrow. So here we go. Here's our arrow. And I'd like to put a shadow effect on it. In order for me to do that, I've got to go to my Format tab. That would be a shape effect, is where shadows fall. If you have any presets, shadows, reflection, glows, soft edges, any of that is going to come from your shape effects. In this instance, it asks us to do shadow. And it's going to ask us to do inside top left shadow. So that would come from inner, under the inner category. So it's inside top left. All right. I'll select that option. Now, it's going to then ask me to set the shadow distance to 3 points. So I've got to come back up here to my shape effects, go back to my shadow, and now at the very bottom, I've got some shadow options. Do you see that? Select my shadow options. It's going to pull up on a task pane on the right side. The distance right now currently is 4. I'll change it to 3. That task is complete. Let's keep moving along. Task number 16 says that the circles on slide 4. So let's go ahead and click on slide 4. And I do see some circles on there. They need to be distributed vertically and aligned to center. So that means I have to select all of them. The easiest way to do that is just to click and drag across all of them to select them. Oh, it's not going to let me. That's cool. I'll hold down my control and select all 3 of them. Okay. The circles on slide 4 need to be distributed vertically and aligned to center. So I'm going to go on my Format tab to my Arrange, and under my Align, I can then say that I need to distribute them vertically. Do you see that there? Distribute vertically. So it's under Arrange and then it's under Align and Distribute vertically. And then we need to align them to center. So we're going to go right back to the same area, Align to center, and Arrange to distribute them vertically. All right. That task is complete, but then it says, once you do that, to group the shapes and copy them to slide 5. To group these together, under my Format tab, I'm going to the Group button and say Group because I already have them selected. If they were not selected, I'd have to select them again and then group. For example, hold down Control and select all 3 of them again, and then go to my Format tab and choose to group. Here we go. I should not have unselected them. And click Group and Group. Once you group them, they are one object. And according to this task here, it says copy them to slide 5. I'll do a Control-C, and I'll come down here to slide 5, and I will do a Control-V to Velcro it on. It does not tell me where to put it, so as long as it's on there, we're good. All right, let's take a look at the next task, task 17. Insert the audio file provided to slide 1. Okay, we'll go up to slide 1. We're going to say Insert. Then we're going to choose Audio, Audio on my PC. I've got the file I saved from the internet, from the Blackboard site. I saved it to the desktop. I'll select that file and say Insert. Configure the audio file to fade in for 2 seconds. Once I have my audio file in here, I get Audio Tools tabs, a Format, and a Playback. Under the Playback here, I've got Fade Duration. I can use the duration. It says fade it in for 2 seconds. Now it says configure it to continue playing when the presenter advances to another slide. So that would be to play in the background so that it plays across all of the slides. And that will automatically check when you say play in the background. So it's configured now to have a fade in of 2 seconds, to play across all slides, and to play in the background. That task is complete. All right, you're going to have to flip over to your next set of instructions, the next page, in order to get to task 18. Let's take a look at task 18. On the slide master, remember to go to our slide masters, we've got to go to View and Slide Master. On the slide master, duplicate the blank slide layout. So I have to find out which one of these is the blank slide layout, and as I mouse over it, it tells me the name of the slide. I'm going to assume, since this one has nothing on it, it's the blank layout, and as I mouse over it, it in fact is the blank layout. It asked me to duplicate it, so that means I'm going to right-click and say Duplicate Layout. Do you see that? Don't copy and paste it. Duplicate the layout. Now there are 2 of them. Name the new slide Picture with Text. To name it, I'm going to right-click and name this layout. And it asked me to name it Picture with Text. And rename. If I mouse over it, it'll say Picture with Text used by no slides because we just created it. Insert a picture placeholder on the left and a text placeholder on the right. In order for me to do that, I'm going to come up here where it says Insert Placeholder, and it wants to have a picture on the left, so I'm going to choose Picture, click and drag it out on the left. But see, that brings me out of my master, and that confuses students. Do not let that step confuse you. It will bring you right back out of your master into your formatting area so that you can format this. It didn't tell you to format it, so click off of it. When you click off of that placeholder insertion, it will then bring you back to insert a placeholder again, and then that's going to ask you to insert a text placeholder on the right. Select text, insert that on the right. It brings you back out again. Do not let that mess you up. You're back out here into the regular world again, out of your master. Click off of the placeholder. You'll be back in your master again. Let's make sure we've completed everything. On the slide master, duplicate, and we duplicated the blank slide layout. Name the new slide layout Picture with Text. Insert a picture placeholder on the left and a text placeholder on the right. This is complete. I can close out of my master view. All right. Task 19, configure the printing options. All right, we're going to be printing, so we'll go into File and Print. We need to configure those so that we print 3 copies of the notes page. So first, instead of full slides, we're going to say notes page, and it would like 3 copies. So print 3 copies of the notes pages for all slides. All copies of page 1 should print before any copies of page 2. That is uncorrelated. So we'll say uncorrelated. There we go. And that task is complete. On your test, it does not say, if it says to print, then hit print. But this question just said to configure it. So I don't need to click print. Task number 20. At the end of the presentation, so let me go to the end of my presentation. I'll select on slide 14. Insert the slides from the hotel PowerPoint. All right, this is what you need to do. I'm going to come up here to New Slide, and I'm going to say Reuse Slides. You see that? Reuse Slides. And I'm going to come over here to my task pane and browse. And on my desktop, I'm going to find Hotel and open it. So this is what my task says. At the end of the presentation, so I went to slide 14, insert the slides from the hotel PowerPoint. So that is the way that you would complete that task. You don't open it and copy them and paste them in. You come up here to New Slide, and you're going to say Reuse Slides. Reuse Slides, okay? Then over here, you're going to browse and find your file, and it wants all 3 of these added to the end. So when I click it, I have slide 14 now. That is now slide 15, slide 16, and slide 17. They have all 3 slides have been added in, and I can close out of this, and the task is complete. Let's take a look at the last task for this project, task 21. On slide 13, on the picture, apply the beveled oval black picture style. So I'll come up here to my Format tab, and under my picture styles, I'll find beveled oval black picture style. And then it's going to ask me to add the plastic wrap effect. And this throws students every single time. Anytime they ask for an effect, they're going to ask you to come over here to these artistic effects. They have the craziest things, so just be familiar with them. They've got plastic wrap, they've got glass, they've got blur, they have mosaic bubbles, they've got pastel smooth. So just so that you know, glow edges. So there are a ton of effects, etching. When you see this on your test, because you will have to pick something, I'm sure, from this artistic effects. And it's going to throw you off, and you're going to be searching under all these other things, picture effects over here, all these other things, but it's an artistic effect. On this one specifically, it asks us to add the plastic wrap. That task is complete. Now we're done. We're done with our first project. How do you feel about that? Go back and rewatch these videos if you need to, so that you can make sure to study up on these tasks. And good luck.